Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds. We're here today with another haul video. This one is extra. It's a bonus because I did so much thrifting when I was on my little mini vacation up in Rhode Island. And I have some things I want to share. So we're just going to do that. I think this will be a little shorter than usual. Don't have a ton of solds to go through. Actually, I don't have any because I'm going to do that on the weekend. But what I am going to do, a couple quick announcements. I finally have some shows scheduled. So actually this Friday, hopefully this video will post Thursday night, hopefully. And so Friday, the 2nd of May, I got into the Fast Friday freight train. So it's a 15-minute spot over on Niknax.net. My spot is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And the topic is colors, and my color is blue. So I will be auctioning off some blue pieces during that time. That show is already preloaded, and I will put in the comments the link to looking at everything that's listed. You can put in Prebids, and like I said, the auction will be on Friday night. And then the other one that is scheduled, I've got my cat show scheduled finally for the 17th, which is a Saturday. I think I scheduled it at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I've got 100 cats. I may have 120 cats by the time the show happens. I am in the process of loading cats. So I think I've only got like maybe 20 of them loaded in so far, but over the next week or so, I will load in the rest of the items so that everything will be available hopefully well in advance for pre-bid. And then I picked up a pottery show at the end of May. It's going to be on the 24th, my spot, and it is at 9:30 p.m. because I'm going to be out that day at a different event. So I picked up a 9:30 p.m. Eastern spot, which is great if you're like on the West Coast because it's like earlier for y'all. And that's a 45-minute slot. And so I am going to be pulling together all of my studio pottery and getting that loaded. I'm probably going to do that after I put my cats in. We'll get that loaded. Yeah. And that's what I have already scheduled, and I'll have those links in the description below. All right, let's get into this week's haul. It was crazy. So the first thing, when I got up to my mom's house, I ran over to the Goodwill that is near her just to see if they had anything. And let me just show you the first thing I found. And this is crazy, you guys. Okay. This is crazy. Oh Lord, it's also a little heavy. Look at this. Look at this. This is a vintage shell lamp, and yes, it works. I don't have it plugged in right now, and I'm not sure I want to do that right now because this is the plug. So it's really old, like it's from the 50s or 60s, like really old. It's got like the 2 separate wires. Yeah, anywho, the other ones I found online are from the 50s and 60s. I paid only $7.99 for this thing. It's amazing. Like, it's amazing. And it did work. I tested it. It's like a night light. But look at this shell. Like, it's in such good condition. It's like there's nothing wrong with it. And it's mounted on a piece of another shell. And it's fantastic. So this was just like so exciting for me. And hopefully it's exciting for you too, because look at this. So this will be on eBay for sure soon, actually, because it's a bigger piece. So hopefully sometime this week I'll get it up on eBay. And the solds on these are in the 35 to 89 range. I'm probably going to list this in the 60s with my offers on and see what happens. I don't expect it's going to sell very quickly, but this is an amazing piece for a beach house. Like, it's just amazing. Even if you never turn it on, just what an amazing piece of decor for a, you know, beach or nautical themed place. It's fantastic. So anyway, I was so excited. I'm going on a little bit because I was so excited. So that was really, really cool. I picked up a couple other things there that are so-so. So I found these Pier 1 gingerbread men measuring spoons. So I've seen other resellers online picking up a lot of Pier 1 stuff. And I think some of it does really well and some of it does not. It depends on the piece. But because Pier 1 is not in business anymore, their stuff is sought after. So I paid $2.99 for these. These only go 12 to 15. I mean, they're not going to sell for a ton of money, but they're in great shape. There's no issues with them. It's all of them. And as I'm saying that, of course, I'm seeing a tiny little ding there. I may have done that in transport, honestly, because they were not, they were in perfect condition when I picked them up. So I just may not have wrapped them that well when I brought them down here. So there's that. But okay, then, and this was probably, I shouldn't have gotten this, but I got overly excited. They're in their case, they had these 2 heart ornaments, and it was in a baggie, and I didn't check the price, and I didn't pay attention until I left the store, and I realized I paid like $11.99 for these 2 things. So basically $5.99 each, one of them $6, one of them $5.99. I do think they're worth more than that, so that's good. I think they're probably 15 to 18 each, so I think we'll just double our money basically on these guys. But they're blown glass ornaments. They're beautiful. They're not signed anywhere, which was a little surprising to me, but they're just really cool. So I love glass. I love blown glass. These will sell likely at the next glass show I do, which will probably be in July sometime, if I get in. There's always that, y'all. I'm trying really hard. All right, so then I ran over to the Savers, which is kind of sort of across the street. And I love the Savers. It's in Rhode Island. I love it because it's 10 minutes from my mom's house. And so I can pop in there either multiple times a day or every day. And the turnover, like, it's unbelievable, the amount of inventory that passes through that store. So I can go in the morning and I can go at night and see completely different things. It's crazy. So when I was there that first day, I picked up a couple things. The first thing was this trinket dish that was painted with dots, and it's signed. Okay, it's stamped actually with a signature. I don't know what it says. It looks like Talbot, Larabot. I don't know. If you guys know, tell me in the comments for sure. It's just really cool. It's very, very, very well done. I've done dot painting before, and it's really hard to get it this precise. So it's a beautiful piece. I mean, you have to draw your grid first, but a lot of work went into this. It was really pretty. I paid $2.39 for it. I believe this is worth 12 to 18. So I'm not sure when that will get sold. I'm thinking about doing a show that's trinket dishes and trinket boxes, and I may just do that on my own sometime this summer. So I'm collecting little trinket dishes and boxes and stuff. So we'll just kind of keep that one to the side. I'm not sure yet where that's going. And then we have something really exciting. It's fused glass, but I'm going to tell you some things. So I'm going to tell you what it's not first. Now you can see the label on the back, so that's a secret here. It's not Peggy Carr. It's not Side and Stricker. It's not Kim Folio Art Glass. It's not DeRay, and it's not, oh my gosh, who's the other one? And of course I'm not thinking of it, Ross. And it's not Ann Ross, okay? We found another fused glass maker, and it's someone that is super prolific, and I may have had things from her before and just not known it. So I'm gonna share. So the artist is Rosemary Mazzei, M-A-Z-Z-E-I. Her company was called Distinguished Art Glass. She was in operation from 1990 until I think 2017. I can't find anything saying that she's in business now, but she may be. But on her Facebook page, the last posts that had people making glass were from June of 2017. And then everything since then has just been family photos. And animal photos and sharing random posts and whatnot. She is either 79 or 80 years old at this point in time. She graduated from high school in 1963, so she is older than me by a lot. So I don't think she's still making glass. She's in New Jersey. I'm not sure. I have to do a little bit of research and figure out exactly where, and I'm going to see if I can reach out and talk to her. It would be so cool to do another interview with another fused glass artist as I learn more about this craft. But anyway, Rosemary Mazet. So let me show you some information on Rosemary, because I printed out some stuff. Let me just go through my pages. All right, so that's these. Oh, I brought some things down here that I didn't mean to. All right, so this is Rosemary many, many, many years ago. Okay. So she had her business, I wrote down 34 years and 9 months if you count it until now, but I think she closed up in 2017. This was her booth at a craft show. I found this online. So if you look her up online, Rosemary Mazet on Facebook, Mazzei, and you scroll way to the bottom of her public posts, you'll see all the pictures of like different booths with her glass and different glass pieces. She has some really cool lamps where they did like a handkerchief vase kind of thing, and then they put it as a lampshade. So she's got some really innovative pieces. I'd love to talk to her. There's actually a couple in this picture. They're a little bit different than the handkerchief ones, but they're just fused glass lampshades. So anyway, she did a lot of cool stuff. Now this was her picture. This is her in 2017. Okay, so that is Rosemary Mazet. I'm not sure that's how she says her name. It's Mazzei. She does seem to have things with a Jewish theme, like this is a Jewish star. I do have another one of her pieces, or another piece that I believe now is attributed to her. It also had a star, and it had the menorah in the center. So like I said, it's always exciting to me to learn about a new glass artist and to find the pieces in the wild, etc. Now her stuff does not have huge resale value. I paid $4.79 for it, mostly because I wanted to learn about the artist. And they're worth, you know, they're selling 8 to 12. I might be able to get a little bit more for that. I think because of the specificity of it having the Jewish star, I think the audience is a little bit less than you would have if it had like fruits or things like their flowers. But we'll see as it gets closer to Hanukkah, like toward the end of the year, I'll probably list that one then. But anyway, that was so fun. So then the next day I went back to Savers, because that day at Savers I only found 2 things. It was late in the day. And I went earlier in the day. And I have to tell you a little story. So I found a couple Anna Lee pieces. Now Anna Lee, I had seen some people, some other resellers picking them up, and I knew nothing. So we're going to consider it a learning thing. These are not old. I found 2 Anna Lee pieces, and I was so excited because I knew they were Anna Lee. Aside from the fact that it's got a tag that says Anna Lee, I knew kind of from the face before I saw the tag. But this one is 2024, so it's new. It has its original price of $29. I paid $5.59 for it, thinking that it was something really fantastic before I looked at the tag and figured out, oh, it's just from this past Christmas. It's only a few months old, but it's still cool. It's Anna Lee. And then the other one I found was the Anna Lee Christmas Mouse, also relatively new. I think this one is 2022. I don't remember where I got that information from. but I think it's also fairly new. I was excited when I found them. They did have a third piece, but it was less Anna Lee looking, and it was very big, and I just wasn't sure what I would do with it. So I didn't pick that up, but I picked these two up, and I was very excited about it. So I'm going to fast forward to the next day when I went over to the antique mall, which I'll talk about shortly because I'm going to show you what I got there. Every single booth had at least one Anna Lee in it, and they were all priced $12 to $15. Some were old, some were new. They were not all antiques. There were some that were new, but the price on all of them was in the 12 to 15 range. I think these are probably also in the 12 to 15 range, especially if new, they're, you know, 29, 30, so resale would be half of that. Just, you know, kind of generally. So I learned about Anna Lee, but here's the even more interesting part. I went back to Savers the next day, which we're going to talk about in the next video, or 2 days later maybe. They must have had 50 to 60, I mean, like the shelves were plastered with Anna Lee. They had an entire end cap that was just Anna Lee upon Anna Lee upon, I mean, like all Christmas. Every single one of them was Christmas, and all between 2022 and 2024. I don't know if someone cleaned out a shop or if it was a recent collector that donated their collection or what. They were all marked $5.59. I did not buy any more. I took the opportunity to learn some things. But if you find them for $1 or $2, and if you find the older ones, you know, you'll definitely get 12 to 15 for them if there's a collector out there that's looking for that particular piece. So let's talk about Anna Lee. Now, I printed out a bunch of stuff. I haven't read it yet, so we're going to learn together here real quick. They're based in New Hampshire, and they started in 1934. So we are talking about a 90-year-old company. And it says the tale begins with a young woman meticulously dyeing felt fabric and freehand painting doll faces during the Depression. And then it says the tale continues daily in a design room, a short stroll from Lake Winnipesaukee in Meredith, New Hampshire. And then it says, either way, this is a once upon a time story of a doll making cottage industry that made it big, nationally big. But what makes it different is that it's infused with magic, a magic that is uniquely Anna Lee. So Anna Lee Thorndike and her husband Chip lived on a chicken farm in Meredith, New Hampshire. When the farm failed in the 1950s, Anna Lee was forced to get serious about her childhood hobby of doll making with a dash of Yankee influence. So the old chicken coop became a design room, Chip became a salesman, Anna Lee became a doll maker, and she fashioned her creations directly from the activities of her two sons, so skiing and swimming and other activities that children do best. And so that is why Anna Lee designed more than one mischievous, whimsical face for each of her doll creations. And it says the 50s and 60s were growing years, and she continued to focus on human figurines doing everyday things. So that's kind of the beginning picture. And then it says they had categories for occupations, sports, hobbies, etc. And then she started introducing some animals. During that time, they had a small staff, and that model continued right up until 2001. So it said during the 70s, Anna Lee's creations focused primarily on the mouse for every house. Isn't that cool? So she did mice, and they had different facial expressions and different personas and occupations and hobbies, and they became a staple in the holiday and seasonal categories that were, you know, through the 70s. And it says the mice are still a favorite among customers and collectors. So again, one of the two that I picked up was a mouse. The 1980s were the beginning of the collectability era. So Santa and mice and elves and animals became the core of the collections. And she was inspired by family holiday traditions, and she got different ideas from reading and research. And, ooh, I'm missing a page. So she said during the holidays is when people really show how much they care for each other. So her designs reflected simpler times and her own sense of human nature and humor. Whether a Christmas elf or an Easter frog, one characteristic threads itself throughout the entire family of dolls. It's the positiveness of the face. Okay, so let me just come back to the mouse and give you an example. There's a little happy, weird face. Okay. And it says it's the smile. If you smile, someone else has got to smile back. So it says, yes, her dolls are full of character and whimsy, but the thread that binds them together as an Annalee is that each and every one of them energetically celebrates some aspect of life itself, life at its very best. Annalee passed away in 2002, but her legacy continues. Today, more than 80 years after her first dolls were made, Annalee Dolls remains a New Hampshire tradition, operating out of the same picturesque town of Meredith and bringing smiles to young and old. The Annalee gift shop at 339 Daniel Webster Highway welcomes thousands of visitors from all over the world each year. That's so cool. It goes on and on, but wow. Okay, so now we know a little bit about Annalee. And the older ones, are sought after. Although, like I said, in the antique mall that I visited, everything was $12 to $18. So if you're finding them, and you're doing your yard sales and you're finding them out there in the wild for $1 or $2, probably worth a pickup. $5.59, probably not worth picking up. But we learned, right? So that was exciting. And then I just picked up a few other things at Savers. Uh-oh, where's my vase? Ruh-roh. Well, I found a planter. Oh, here it is, hiding behind some things. I found a planter, and this is old. And this is a boy with a baseball glove and baseball glove, baseball hat, planter. Right, and then like a pocket patch on the back. It does have some markings on the bottom. It's marked, it's mold number 3267. It says Japan, so it's made in Japan, and it's got a sticker that's kind of worn off. Super cute. I paid $3.14 for him, and they sell in the 15 to 18 range. Really good condition, no issues. Really cute for a little boy's room, somebody who wants to have a plant, or even what do you call it, an air plant, or a succulent garden or something like that. It's just a cute little planter. Or you could use it as like a storage thing for, I don't know, off the cuff here, pens or something, I don't know, paintbrushes. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but anyway, super cute. It was a fun little pickup. Then I found this adorable glazed pot. Now I think this is more contemporary. It is the iridescent glaze. It's because it's black on the bottom, that leads me to think it's some sort of a raku pottery. And then it is also stamped with Asian characters. So this is either, it could be black clay rather than raku. I'm not really sure. I don't know anything about this other than, boy, it's pretty. So I picked it up because it was really pretty. I paid $2.09 for this, so just a little over $2. I think I can sell it, I wrote down 15 to 18 because of that glaze. It may go as low as 12, but no, I don't think it'll go any lower than that. It's so pretty. So I like that one a lot. And then I picked up these eggs, and I just thought they were different, right? I don't know what they're made of. It's like alabaster, some sort of a stone, but the decoration on them, it's almost like it's inlaid and painted. I'm just not sure. I know nothing about these things. I thought they were cool. There were only 2 of them. I would have picked up more had there been more. I paid $2.09 for each of these. The odd numbers are because I had a discount coupon, so whatever the price actually was, I got a percentage off. So these were each $2.09. It's It's not ceramic, like it's definitely not ceramic. It's some sort of a stone, but I don't know. I don't know. So 8 to 12 each on these possibly. I may hold these till next year around Easter time. But they're cool. So I picked those up. All right, and then I popped across the street over to the Goodwill to see if they had, oh no, that's not correct. That is not correct. There was another Goodwill I'd never been to. They just opened. Well, not the one that just opened, because we'll talk about that tomorrow. Next video, sorry. I went to check out one that was 20 to 30 minutes away. And it was really fun driving down there because this is just a random aside. One of the buildings I passed, I had this amazing deja vu. And it's because when I was a kid, and I'm dating myself here, we used to have these S&H green stamps. So you would get gas, maybe? You know, I have absolutely no idea how you would get the green stamps, but you would get the green stamps when you bought stuff. Oh, I think when you bought it at Sears. That's what it was. When you bought stuff at Sears, maybe? I don't know. You bought stuff somewhere. You got these green stamps. And I just remember they said S&H and they were green stamps. Some of you guys who are watching, you can comment and let me know what it really was. But we had these books, and I remember as a kid, like getting the sponge with the water on it and wetting the stamps and sticking them into the book. And then you would collect the books and then you would redeem them for stuff. Like you could get furniture, and you could get appliances, you could get a blender, you could get a toaster, you could get stuff with your S&H green stamp books. So anyway, I'm driving down to Warwick Neck, actually, in Rhode Island, or East Warwick. I'm not even sure. I'm driving away from my mom's house, and it was just this like total deja vu moment. And I mean, the building is now something else, but it was just this, I've been here before, and oh my gosh, it had to have been what, like 50 years ago, 55 years, something like a really long time. And it was just this weird deja vu. Anyway, I only got two things, but one of them's really cool. Picked up a couple mugs. I picked up a Starbucks mug. Like I told you guys, I love the You Are Here collection. This is a new one. It is from Oregon. I paid $1.59 for this, and they sell in the 15 to 18 range. So, and like I said, most of my You Are Here mugs sell pretty quickly once I get them up. But this one took the cake for me. Look at this. This is a cup, little teacup. It seems to be porcelain. It is made in Japan. It just says Japan, and then it says PY above it. This is from the 1950s, which is really cool. And it's like this apple face mug. I paid $1 for it. And I think this olds are in the 12 to 15 plus range. It's hard to tell because a lot of them are like the cup with a plate or two cups, or, you know, they're like not just the cup being sold. But this is amazing. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. There's part of me that wants to hold him for like a weird and wacky, weirdos, wonderful, or kitschy, you know, train or show or whatever. Because I think those people will appreciate it rather than just putting it out to the world on eBay. So I'm probably going to hold him for a little bit. If he's something you're interested in, just, you know, message me here or elsewhere, and Facebook is a good way to message me. The link to the Facebook group is in the Facebook page is in the chat, in the description. Anyway, I got that guy. So that was that. Then the next day, I went up to my favorite antique mall. They were not open on Mondays and Tuesdays. They're open Wednesday through Sunday. So I went up on the 23rd, and I'm so excited. So I didn't find, here's what I didn't find. I did not find any paperweights. I did not find any amazing glass. And the last couple times I've been there, I've found both. It's not that they didn't have things, but they didn't have things with enough room for resale. But I found a few cats. And as you guys know, I've got a cat sale coming up on the 17th, so I picked up a few cats. I think 2 of them are spectacular. Oh, shoot. 3. Oh, there he is. 3 of them are spectacular, or good anyway. The others, maybe I shouldn't have picked up. So let me start with the ones maybe I shouldn't have picked up. There's this guy. I picked it up because it was only $3 and it's a cat with a sewing machine. However, upon further examination when I got home, either in transit or I just didn't pay attention, it's missing half an ear. So that is problematic. I paid $3 for it. If it had its ear, it would only be worth like 5 to 8. Without its ear, it may not be worth the $3 I paid. So this one should have stayed at the antique mall, but it's still super cute. Look at that face. So someone may choose to adopt it and love it during my cat sale, but that was a eh. The other one, I just don't know anything about yet. I think it's really cool. It's kind of this like laying, crouching cat. And I think I saw one similar online that was in the 20s, but it's not the exact same. It's similar. So I got to do a little bit more research on this guy. So far, it's not coming up with a lot of hits, and there's no markings on it at all. It is either ceramic or stone. I think it's ceramic. It's a, you know, it's either stoneware or something similar. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I paid for the crouching cat. Where is he? Here he is, $4 I paid for him. And he's probably only worth 6 to 8. Although, like I said, I did see one in the 20s that was similar. So I gotta do a little bit more research on him. I picked up the little red ware cat because he's so cute. So I picked up this guy. He was just so cute. Look at him. He's just so adorable. So I paid $5 for him. I think he's probably worth 8 to 12. Again, at an auction, could be anything, but he's just so cute. And he's different than things I've seen. So I pick up the things that are different to me that is going to round out the sale. Okay, a couple more. I've got the alebrije. So this is a little Mexico alebrije cat. I don't know why he's, get out of the way a little bit. He's not focusing very well, but he's really cool. Really cool. I paid $4 for him. These guys sell around 12 to 18, even at this miniature size. It's carved wood and then it's painted very bright colors. So anyway, he's adorable. So I picked him up for $4. Okay, which one should I show you first? I think I'm going to show you the Tonala first. I think this is nicer than the other one, but the other one glows and I have to show that last. So look at this Tonala cat. It's like crouching down. All right, so that's the back. He's got this beautiful painting on it and he's kind of leaning down. But what a spectacular piece. And I paid up. I paid probably too much for him. I paid 15, I believe. Yep, I paid 15 for him. He's worth 18 to 35. Some of these do sell in the 30s for sure. So just, you know, depends on the day, but he's amazing and I absolutely had to have him. So he came home with me. And then the last cat that I picked up is this unassuming blue cat. I don't know much about him. I don't know where he comes from, but I have to show you something. He lights, oh, it doesn't show up that well here. He glows like crazy. Like he glows bright green, like bright green under the black light. Like if you put it in the light box when everything's black and you turn this light on, he just lights up bright green. So maybe I can do it from down here. You guys sort of kind of get the idea, right? Like he lights up. So yeah, I love him. Now the fact that he glows is going to give him a little more value. I paid $7 for him, not knowing that he glowed. And I've got a value on him of $18 to $35. So my total spend for that particular 3-day period was $91.33. I don't think everything was a home run. I think that shell lamp is spectacular. And I think some of the cats will do okay. And we'll just kind of have to see with everything else, right? So I've got very, very conservatively, like I took the low range, the low numbers on my ranges here, and then on some of them I just took off more. So conservatively $265, so 2.5x. I think 3x is probably like 3 times the value is what we've got here. And then what I've got coming this weekend for you guys is the rest of my trip while I was up there, which included a Goodwill grand opening. Those are always insane. Now, unfortunately, so when I was at that antique mall, I was driving home and I saw a Goodwill and I'm like, that wasn't there before. So I drove up to go in and there was a sign on the door that said grand opening tomorrow, 9 a.m. Unfortunately, I was working and I had a 9 a.m. meeting. So I did not get there at 9 a.m. On the other hand, and actually, funny story, I saw somebody post on Facebook, some random person on Facebook in one of the groups that I'm in, I found this amazing Ellie Smith swung vase at a Goodwill grand opening in Rhode Island. And I'm like, no. So I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for them, but I wasn't there when it opened. And so I missed, like they save stuff for a really long time and then they put out amazing things. But what I started to say was on those grand opening days and on those grand opening weekends, they're putting things out at a very high rate. And they have a quota of how much they have to put out within a certain time frame. And so even though I didn't go until after work, partway through the afternoon, I went up, I still found some things. So we'll share that with you in the next video. And yeah, and a couple things that I got from an auction buy on the way home. Well, from my place here, I picked it up the next day when I got back. So anyway, that's what we've got looking forward to the next video. Then after that, I've got some stuff from when I got back, and I've got the Reston yard sale that I went to last weekend. And then this weekend, I'm going to be going to a church rummage sale that I did really well at last year. And I'm also going back to the DC Big Flea. So we've got a lot going on. So stay tuned. The next few videos will be jam-packed. I'm surprised this video went as long as it did. So thanks for sticking with it. And thanks for being here. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you soon with another video. Have a great day, evening, weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.